Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for August 10th, 2024. It's Season 3, Episode 223. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the visualizer for the Sentient AI from the future.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Welcome to the August 10th Non Sequitur News.
Today we're going to be talking about Cash App settlement, unsafe ingredients enter U.S. food system, hydrogen-powered aircraft, lead ingots of Rome, Tesla puts brakes on Cybertruck, irony, Marilyn Monroe statue controversy, there's a big question mark there. I'm not sure what that's all about. Cyclists going round and round. There's actually kind of a row up here. I don't know what's going on. We'll talk about it. Chess Cold War action, rocket recovery crane, and an Airbnb host gets hit with a crypto mining bill. That's going to be interesting. All of it's powered by ohmTown.com. I guess it's Saturday, so the mayor is just kind of not wearing a collared shirt or anything. Not sure what's going on. Oh, never mind. Kind of living up to the name, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
So, folks, let's start with the first article. Technology Today, Cash App customers are eligible for a $2,500 settlement. How to submit a claim. The proposed $15 million settlement covers those who've used Cash App in the past 6 years. How does 6 years of people equate to a $2,500 per person settlement?
It's not clear.
When the settlement is $15 million and the law firm probably takes about 60% of that. Clifford Colby over at cnet.com put the article together. The deck statement says what I just said. The proposed $15 million class action settlement covers those who have used Cash App in the past 6 years. I've used Cash App in the past 6 years. Some people will like to get paid by Cash App.
Well, I hope you're getting a settlement.
So the proposed $15 million class action claims Cash App and its parent company, Block, failed to take proper care to prevent unauthorized access to user accounts. In the lawsuit, plaintiffs allege the Block and Cash App were negligent when a former Cash App investing employee accessed account data without permission in 2022, and when an unauthorized user accessed certain Cash App accounts in 2023 using recycled phone numbers that were linked to the accounts. So if you've used it in the past 6 years and your personal information or account was accessed without your consent, or you experienced an unauthorized transfer of funds, you may be eligible to claim a payout up to $2,500. Oh, so the title was a little clickbaity, but so Cash App customers are eligible for up to $2,500, but you have to show that you were harmed probably up to $2,500.
Exactly. So there might be a lot of app users that aren't eligible.
Yeah, because most people, well, I mean, it depends on how much of your account was, because like $25 withdrawals can add up to $2,500, but you got to do 100 of them. Anyway, quite interesting, but yeah, not quite. But if you did use the Cash App, then go and do a application if you got hit by it. But you know, it's weird. Don't you think that those would have been remedied? Like, hey,
you mean like along the way?
Yeah, over 6 years.
You would think so. Mm-hmm.
Well, since the show has started and you are watching, if you hit !NSN, ohmTown will spit out the articles for today's non sequitur news into the chat, into the VOD. They'll be in the show notes over on YouTube and in the podcast. Yesterday's is already published as a podcast and it's over on YouTube, so go check it out. Anyway, let's keep on moving. Sound good?
Sounds good.
The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Unsafe ingredients may enter U.S. food via FDA loophole, scientists warn. Studies show the FDA policies allow companies to self-regulate potentially harmful additives. I don't understand
That's
self-regulation.
excellent. So low inspection rates and loopholes.
Yeah. So we know that there are low inspection rates, like sub 1 or sub 5%. I'll round to that number. That's almost an arbitrary number that I've picked because the only number that we've really heard, I think, is like 1%. And that has to do with shrimp and seafood. Found it kind of interesting that that's what's going on. And it doesn't seem like anybody knows or cares. And the only one that really benefits from it is bigger business. But apparently, the food in your pantry might not be as safe as you think, according to Shannon McDonough over at Newsweek.com. New research published on Thursday by the American Journal of Public Health has uncovered potential gaps in the regulatory framework of the U.S. FDA, which, when you say exposed or uncovered potential gaps, they're being exploited by somebody. There's no potential. It's
right, exactly.
Yeah. So researchers claim that regulators' approach provides a loophole for food companies to self-determine the state of some substances as generally recognized as safe, or GRAS, without being held to account. Significant distinction exists between food additives, which require FDA, and GRAS substances, which do not. Well, things that we used to think are safe are not safe.
And they even might be unsafe again, or right, they might be safe again, depending on what the current research shows.
What the hell it is, yeah. Whoever has been huffing some of these chemicals, apparently. So this includes potentially harmful chemicals like potassium bromate, which is linked to cancer and banned in several countries, but still legal here in the United States. Potassium bromate is banned in Europe, Canada, China, Japan. California is probably one of the most aggressive, along with New York, in this particular sense. So it passed a law to ban its use along with 3 other chemicals, and similar bills have been introduced in Illinois, New York, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I think that it's really smart that that's what they do. I don't think it's good for us. But anyway, both the FDA and the public are unaware of how many of these ingredients, which are not commonly found in ultra-processed food, are in, which they are most commonly found in ultra-processed food. Yeah. Both the FDA and the public are unaware of how many of these ingredients, which are most commonly found in ultra-processed food, are in our food supply.
Most of the public is probably unaware of how to interpret this sentence.
Jennifer Pomeranz, lead study author and associate professor of public health policy and management at New York University, said in a statement that it was maybe confusing if, I don't know, you went to a distillery earlier. But since 1997, the FDA has permitted food industry to independently determine which substances can be considered GRAS, basically generally accepted as safe, even for new and unfamiliar compounds. Hey, we made it this morning. It's generally safe, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why I don't really...
that's a little... There's not really room for error either, right? If it's unsafe and you ingest it, you might not be coming back from that.
Yeah, I don't like generally being used. Generally. Whoops. Sorry about that. 1 second. So the article continues. The consequences of the self-regulation are far-reaching. I agree. I think that we need oversight. A lot of businesses don't agree, but I hate to break it to you, your profits shouldn't matter when health and the general safety of the public, which you are feeding food to, is at risk, because while everybody else suffers and largely people are harmed before the gross body of people find out that people are being harmed, So, no, some of your profits should be spent on regulation because everybody should be safe from your food. If they have allergies or something like that, then I understand that, but it's incumbent on them to go, like, for instance, I know somebody that is allergic to a food coloring, or I know somebody that's allergic to peanuts. They've become aware of it and they go out of their way to avoid those things because they are aware of it. But if it's a self-regulated grass formulation, nobody the hell knows what's in it.
Exactly.
And
well,
abuse
and it's
happens
kind of
in the
like
dark.
if you wouldn't want yourself or your family eating something and you work at one of these companies, you might want to do something about that.
So in 2010, the U.S. Government Accountability Office recommended that regulators strengthen its oversight of GRAS substances, particularly by requiring companies to submit basic information about these substances and minimizing conflicts of interest in their determinations. Although promising, these recommendations were not fully implemented in the FDA's final GRAS rule. The study's authors proposed several policy recommendations requiring companies to notify the FDA of GRAS determinations, sharing their safety data before adding substances to foods, and increased funding from Congress to allow the FDA to enhance its reach. Except that regulatory capture pretty much hobbles that, right? The people that write, and there was a conversation that somebody was having online recently that was basically saying, well, I mean, the people that are in the FDA or the people that are in industry, revolving door is bogus because they go into the FDA and they provide their subject matter expertise. No, they provide their bias. That's what it is, right? And they go back, the people that are working in the FDA that are working for previously the industry, they write policy and come from being made potentially millionaires in industry. Or like me, I entered industry and said, oh my God, this is disgusting, and left immediately. Well, I can guarantee you that I'm one of the few and far between from that. So my problem here is, yeah, we need more regulation because we don't know what we're getting and we have to rely on other people. I really do need to do something about this. Look, my arm goes off into a void. So yeah, there we go. You know, my soapbox, I try to jump off of it pretty quick, but that one really got me. You want to keep going?
I think so.
By the way, the research was published in the American Journal of Public Health. From 2024, regulation of added substances in the food supply by the Food and Drug Administration Human Foods Program. Yeah, that's the paper. All right, let's keep going. What? Go ahead. Were you going to say something?
I was going to say, I think the number of food recalls combined with the number of determinations that everything that seems to be near our food supply is toxic. Like, I think this makes this article more concerning.
Yeah, it's pretty telling, huh? Plus, a lot of the stuff, even with regulation, and because it's kind of hobbled, they go and they inspect. Yeah, let me back up. They go and inspect these places, and they go, hey, we see that you have some problems, you got to fix it. And then they can't come back for 2 years because they're too busy inspecting everything else. FDA needs more money. You know who you can charge more? Taxes. Get taxes from all of the mega corporations that are making freaking bank, right? But they sit there and go, oh, we've given you a lot of taxes. Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's keep going. The next article is over on the Hatch Ideas channel that talks about business transformation, intellectual property, things like that. But this is the hydrogen-powered aircraft could be the first to fly nonstop around the globe. The team behind Climate Impulse aims to showcase hydrogen's value as an alternative fuel for air travel. But with many design issues to overcome and an entire industry to overhaul, the aircraft has a lot to prove. Well, as long as it holds onto its freaking doors, I'll be good. And doesn't drop out of the sky.
I was just thinking if it had some bolts, I think that's good.
Yep. Those are extra. It's a feature you have to pay more for.
It's a subscription.
It's a subscription. Yep. So the article is by Arjun Karpal and Maria Gomez de Sacart, I guess is their last name. And they have a video, and you can go over, you can follow the link and watch it. I warn you, I think it autoplays. But to prove its potential, the team at Les Sables, I guess, de Olno, I guess, de Olo. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with French. Anyway, is building a hydrogen-powered aircraft which aims to be the first to circumnavigate the globe, and it goes by the name Climate Impulse. Leading the team is Swiss explorer Bertrand Piccard, which I've heard of several times now over the years. He was part of the Solar Impulse team that flew a solar-powered plane around the world between 2015 and 2016. He believes the project could be an important catalyst for the aviation industry. I thought it was a bigger aircraft.
Yeah, this is not what I was expecting, but I guess it really just needs to fit one person or two, right?
I guess. See, but the scale is what matters. If this just flies one person around or two people and maybe a small package or whatever, you know, I mean, I've got a 20-pound CO2 cylinder that weighs 55 pounds fully loaded or so. If I throw that in the back of this, is it going to drop out of the sky? Then it becomes unfeasible and scale untenable. So just one doesn't really do much for me, but it says a lot of people say that you cannot decarbonize aviation. Climate Impulse, that's my call against defeatism, against skepticism, against all of the people who say there are no solutions. Bertrand Piccard told CNBC Tech The Edge. There's a lot of solutions, but hope will come only if we take action. Oh, I hope that $1 million will land on my desk in the morning.
Well, yes, a lot of people probably hope that, but I suspect that's not happening.
Yeah, I want them to fully decarbonize. I would like them to get to just, let's decarbonize 50% as a breadcrumb towards, you know, avoiding defeatism. Little step. We don't have to jump straight to zero or complete decarbonization. So if you want to be fully decarbonized, you can go solar, but it's not practical for commercial aviation. Maybe not this either. If you have bigger planes, you need bigger batteries, and a part of your energy will be wasted by carrying the heavy batteries. Exactly. So that's the moment where it's more efficient to go hydrogen. I agree. But you have to store all of that hydrogen, which is fine because it's almost a parallel to jet fuel. So it's compressed.
Right, like you can only go as far as you can with the fuel.
Right. So the team's aim is for Climate Impulse to attempt its round-the-world flight in 2028, with testing starting in 2026. Good on them. There's more. There's a video. Go and check it all out. What do you think? You think we're going to be able to fly hydrogen power?
I would like us to be able to. I think it's quite a ways off because I don't think, at least for commercial aviation, I don't even think I suspect the laws and regs aren't even set up for hydrogen. So I think there's that. And then we have the problem that we talk about in the EV space that we don't really have the hydrogen infrastructure yet.
Right.
But I want us to get there. I mean, if we can move away from fossil fuels, all the better.
I agree. Let's keep going. Next article's over in Technology Today. Lost treasures of Rome, lead ingots unearthed in Cordoba's ancient mines. 3 lead ingots unearthed at Los Escoriales. Escoriales. There we go. I got it right. Dodona Rama. It says Belmez after that. I'm not sure what that is. Dating back to the Roman Empire, or Roman period. highlight the significance of lead production and export. And this is kind of fascinating because lead is such a significant in the historical record, and so much research has been done. There's a massive database that shows lead mining locations around the world, and a sample of one, let's say in North America, I don't know, the Money Pit, can point to the source of that lead, showing that there was a connection between somebody depositing that lead in North America and its source in Europe. The precise mine, because the chemical makeup, I mean, it's so spectacular. So this article should really be in Technology Today kind of a thing, so that I can just talk about that aspect of it, because I think it's just so amazing. University of Cordoba put the article together. SciTech Daily is the place where it's sourced from. And I guess they have 3 lead ingots, but it looks like there's only 2 here, right?
Yeah, but I can't tell if they're showing us different perspectives of it.
Oh, it's a tiny one.
Like the other side or something, or...
The third one's just a segment. So these are all the sides and the ends.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like a square one, it's rounded. So odds on they just like dug a hole and poured it in and we're done with it. So let's see here. 3 ingots unearthed at Los Escoriales de Dona Rama, dating back to the Roman period, highlight the significance of lead. 45 centimeters in length and weighing between 24 and 32 kilograms, these triangular shaped ingots resemble a Toblerone bar, and now they're going to be sued for mentioning Toblerone without the
exactly. And I bet they don't have the little mountain marks. So
that's
they're
right. The
diminishing from the brand, right?
Yep. Oh man, and tying it to the heavy metal lead. Oof. Really bad, folks. Anyway, so there's 3 of them. One is broken in half. Despite this, the study of these 3 lead ingots previously unexamined and originating from the deposit that we've said a couple of times, provides enough information to assert that ancient Cordoba, the capital of the Roman Empire's Baetica region, was the primary center for lead smelting in the western ancient world. This region, now encompassing Guadiaro Valley, Las Petrochas, and parts of Jaén,
Ciudad Real.
Hold on a second. I hear audio.
I think it's in the background of your music.
Oh, okay. So Ciudad Real and Badajoz produce lead for numerous everyday items such as spoons, tiles, and pipes, which is horrible because you're ingesting, surrounded by, and bathing in.
Right. I mean, that's like the maximum exposure, right, for an individual.
Yep. So if you want to cause, I don't know, intellectual degradation and ill health, you surround yourself with lead and eat from it, live in it.
Okay, but they probably didn't know that in the 1st century AD.
No. We know. History. Yeah, anyway. So the ingots dating back to the 1st century AD were unearthed in the 20th century during work on the Maghreb Europe gas pipeline and were kept at the Belmez Museum and in private homes. 2 of them bear an identifying mark, making it possible to reveal part of their history and to confirm the great importance of mining importance. I see that it's not just me.
It's doubly important.
It's double. Anyway, in the central Sierra Morena area during the Roman period, we've kind of known this, that lead has been around for quite some time, very important in the Roman Empire. The mark actually is 2 letters, SS, referring to Societas Cisaponensis, a mining company originally from Bienvenida? I'm not going to continue that. A land famous for the production of cinnabar, but that must have been headquartered in Cordoba. So, pretty amazing. They go on to talk about export and trade and some additional future research. The information demonstrates that in antiquity, these northern regions of Cordoba boasted major metallurgical networks of great commercial and economic importance in the Mediterranean. But little did we know just how bad lead is for biological entities. So they'll continue to study this. It's pretty cool. There's quite a bit of data behind this. So definitely, if you are into this, follow the link. Want to keep going?
Sure. Hopefully the people discovering the lead were not overly exposed to the lead.
Yeah. That would be bad. So the next article is over on 4 Wheel Tech. That's one of our shows. We're going to try and get them all this weekend as well. Tesla stops taking orders for its cheapest Cybertruck, which I thought were all of them. But anyway, offers the $100,000 version now. Some customers have
price tag is different than quality.
Sure, that's true. That is true. So some customers have indicated that they're waiting for less expensive versions because prices are higher and driving ranges are lower than originally forecast. Yeah. So, I'm having a talk with an Uber driver. They said that they've learned that people are skinning the Cybertruck because it's so damn ugly.
Yes, which is interesting.
Yeah, the metal, exposed metal, looks horrible and is inconsistent. And there's a whole subreddit, by the way, called Cyberstuck. And what's his name? Oh wow! For some reason,
Musk?
I said Enron Musk, but it's Elon Musk. Like wigged out about it and said that it's basically like this really bad subreddit or whatever, and that it needs to be shut down. But this guy is just such a big baby. I mean, the fact that like advertisers have stopped posting on advertising on his platform, and he says that it's illegal. Well, maybe. Anyway, yeah. So, some guy recently, because the windows are supposed to be shatterproof, this guy took a steel ball, and threw it at his windshield. Plunk, shattered it. And then another guy was sitting there opening and closing the doors on his Cybertruck, and they literally fell apart when he slammed the door. The inside panels detached from the outside panel, and he could actually take there's a spot right here that he picked at, and he peeled this entire metal strip off because it had just like this. I have stronger adhesive, I guess. I don't know.
You know, that's what you want in your car is peelable elements.
Yep. So demand and supply for the Cybertruck are closely monitored by Tesla Incorporated investors and fans because CEO Elon Musk has poured resources into the truck's development and plans to make $200,000 a year. As recently as October, Musk said that Tesla had 1 million reservations for the truck. Some customers have indicated that they're waiting for less expensive versions because prices are higher and range sucks. They've sold more than 16,000. It says here, Cybertruck sold nearly 4,800 units in July, its best month yet, and making it by far the best-selling vehicle in the U.S., priced over $100,000, according to Cox Automotive. They have sold more than 16,000 so far, but sustained high volume at that price point will be a challenge. So deliveries of the Cybertruck, which has an unconventional trapezoidal exterior, I refer to it as a fever dream become manifest. Anyway, or glass onion.
Yes, glass onion is definitely fitting. I also think the initial feedback on the Cybertruck hasn't, at least the vocal feedback hasn't really been positive. So not only is it high priced,
yeah,
reviews are mixed at best.
Mixed at best, yeah. So, like all things, the Cybertruck motif is a direct, like the styling for the name Cybertruck is riffed off of. If you go and look at Cyberpunk, the role-playing game cover art, that styling. You know what? Let me see if I can do this real quick. We'll do it live.
It also says Blade Runner movie.
Right. Let me just show you. I wish. I probably won't be able to actually show you because yeah, I won't be able to show you. But go and look at the RPG Cyberpunk, and that's the writing style of Cybertruck when it was announced, except that Cyberpunk it's red and Cybertruck I think it was white. Anyway, the original launch of this thing, it was supposed to be a $40,000 truck with a 500-mile range, and like all things modern Tesla, seemingly bullshit. But not true.
I mean, I will give it points for automotive originality, if not design originality, right? Like if it's been in movies, etc. But I mean, it doesn't look like it's very distinctive on the road.
And when it's parked on the side of the road because it's run out of battery, or it's gotten wet, or it's in a stream because somebody thought that it has the ability to drive around in anything moist.
I think it's a boat or something.
I guess.
Or whatever that, I can't think of what the
there's amphibious vehicle.
Hydrofoil or something. Amphibious vehicle is really what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, so Tesla no longer offers an option for a $61,000 version, which previously had been offered with a 250-mile range. Now it's the $100,000 Foundation Limited Series with 318-mile range, downhill in a hurricane, or the 120 Tri-Motor Foundation Cyber Beast with a range of 301 miles, available supposedly from October. All right. So now they're sitting on a lot of inventory of the 2 and 3 motor right now. So get rid of the low price to force everybody to buy the high priced. And they can't sell them if they have them because, well, it's in the contract. Let's move on. It's too much time spent on that one. So the next article is over in Non-Sequitur News. 26-foot Marilyn Monroe statue in Palm Springs set to be moved following controversy. Protesters gathered outside a Forever Marilyn statue on its return to Palm Springs in 2021.
I don't know what the controversy is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. I do know that there's a controversy about what our podcasts are. So if you type in !pod in the chat, or at any time, even when we're not streaming, ohmTown will tell you where to go to get your podcasts from ohmTown. There's 7 of them right now. We're going to try and refire because Mayor Watt was gone for the week. We weren't able to do last weekend's podcasts. Weekly shows. The weekly
podcasts,
shows. Yeah. But you can go and download 4 Wheel Tech, Wanted, WarCrafters, Reality Hacker, The Continuity Report, Technology Today, and Non-Sequitur News as a podcast, individual podcasts. They all have their own unique news. Every once in a while, there might be an article that crosses both, but that's not really controversial, is it? So let's get back to what somebody is calling controversial. I don't necessarily care, but I find it fascinating that there's news about a 26-foot tall Marilyn Monroe statue that upskirts the movie star. It says upskirts the movie star is set to be relocated in Palm Springs. It was put up outside Palm Springs Art Museum in 2021. The back of the statue, which faces the Palm Springs Art Museum, shows Marilyn Monroe's exposed undies. So I guess that's the controversy?
I suppose so. I didn't even know there was a 26-foot tall statue of Marilyn Monroe.
Well, there it is. It's not nostalgia, it's misogyny. Eve Crosby is the author over at Business Insider that put the article together. And that statement that I made is actually on a sign at a protest that this statue is returning.
There's also a No Maryland Zone protest sign, which is interesting.
That's right. It says Maryland, Maryland anywhere but here. They spelled "but" with just one T, B-U-T. But you can extrapolate from incomplete data. The weird thing about this is it misogyny? Why is it misogyny? I don't understand that. I mean, if a person is willingly dressing that way and partaking in the ooh and ah of the fandom of the time. Now, cultural relativism, temporal relativism, you have to account for this. The modernity says that this is misogyny, apparently. At least one person at this protest does.
Well, I would say the modernity would say it's something like objectification.
Right.
But not as, presumably the same issue should be, depending on, no matter who the person is. It's hard to know the whole context here, but I can see why modern times this isn't exactly viewed as a good thing.
But then there's going to be an equal side that says that this is a woman who's taking command of her body and doing what she wants. So do we really know?
I think people are applying their own context, whatever it is, right? We don't necessarily know unless she's made public statements one way or the other.
Yeah, that she's always hated this and that she's feeling objectified and whatnot.
Or whatever it is, right.
Yeah. So obviously this sculpture is based off of the famous scene of her skirt being blown up and her getting in that position from the 7-Year Itch. Where she's standing over a subway grate. When the subway goes over, it blows her skirt up. Anyway, it's been a controversial topic since it was returned to Palm Springs in 2021, with some locals arguing that it is inappropriate and sexist. Well, I don't know. Art is in the eye of the beholder, and I'm probably sure that there are people that are just as happy to do what this one is doing, taking a photo with the Marilyn Monroe statue that stands outside the Palm Springs Art Museum.
There's two. You can't, first of all, can anybody have public art that doesn't offend somebody? I don't think I've ever witnessed that. And then secondly, because this is historical in nature, is it viewed differently today than it was? Whether that's right or wrong, yes.
Right.
It is an interesting choice if it was recently installed.
Yeah, it's fairly new. They say it's sexist, exploitive, and misogynistic. Even in death, Marilyn has no peace. All right. I don't know. We lost her, right? It wasn't like she died of old age and she wrote a memoir of her time. There are songs written about her. There are movies that are written about her. So do we know end to end? Maybe she has some writing. I don't know, but
I don't know because I don't know much about her.
Yeah, and I don't know. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Mobile. Team GB. Track cyclists print extra round on wheels in dig at France. So this article is by Tom Carey over at thetelegraph.co.uk. Anyone who follows track cycling will know that the Olympics are just as much an arms race as a human one. The 3D printed handlebars, $600 socks or 600-pound socks, 3,000-pound skin suits that have been the talk of the velodrome this week. But it's not all cutthroat in the world of research and but it is not all cutthroat in the world of R&D. Eagle-eyed spotters have noticed that Great Britain track cycling team have a bit of fun with their Princeton Carbon Works wheels, which have the words "extra round" stenciled in tiny letters on the discs. So clearly a reference to the rounder wheels cheating row that erupted at the London 2012 games after France's director of cycling, Isabelle Goutheron, questioned Team GB's success, asking why they were hiding their wheels in covers at the end of races. You know,
this is interesting. Like, it's very much like
interesting,
poking a finger at the other team, right?
What is that? Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're like, yeah, our wheels were really round, right? Or something.
Yeah, extra round.
Like, which sounds outrageous for a wheel.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I mean, I kind of like that. That's a lot of effort to have it printed on there. And the fact that those wheels typically are spinning very fast, it's funny that anybody saw that. I mean, maybe they were parked or something.
Yeah, I think they have to stop at some point. But yeah, that's pretty funny. What I don't get, what was the expectation? Were they powered faster than the people could pedal them?
I don't know. And I'd also like to know, did they even win? You know, if they were like second place and they covered their wheels at night. So I don't know, nobody vandalized them or whatever it was.
Or whatever, yeah.
You know.
They don't want any dirt or dust inside them, whatever the case may be.
Right. I mean, I don't know any of the background on this. I just think this manifestation is pretty funny.
So Dutch rider circles the track with her drivetrain on the traditional right-hand side of the frame and right, while a Japanese rider's newly fashioned bike has his chain ring on the left. So
I guess they're just showing different technology or whatever used on different teams' bikes.
This is interesting because it's all on one side, and this one crosses over that frame. Yeah, they're both I mean, like the sprocket size is different than the other, it looks like, maybe, unless this one is just closer up. I don't know. Anyway, these are like really wildly expensive bikes and stuff. Each one like custom made to the rider probably, and these skin suits and all of this stuff. And then when you look at it, you're like, you know, you've shaved off 11 seconds from the swim time, right?
Right.
In 40
over a
or 60 years
or something. Yeah. And also, did you see that Britain got a wind tunnel? So then they were presumed to have an advantage of that, which is just training or whatever. But it's just kind of funny.
A wind tunnel. Yeah. So their bikes are aerodynamic. All of them have the potential. All right, let's keep going. Argument just to argue. So a Russian chess player allegedly poisoned her opponent with mercury. This is over in Reality Hacker because we have to be in some other timeline. At a regional chess tournament earlier this month, one competitor was allegedly caught on film lacing her opponent's board with liquid mercury.
You know, I thought the British-France cycling issue was big, but, you know, this takes it to a whole new level.
Yeah,
and this isn't even at the Olympics.
No, I titled this Chess Cold War. At a regional chess tournament earlier this month, one competitor was allegedly caught on film lacing her opponent's board with liquid mercury. I don't understand lacing her opponent's board. You mean on her side, the opponent's
like if
she's
chessboard? Going against somebody on the other side of the table, that person's chessboard, I guess.
Interesting. So Russia's no stranger to unique poisoning. State agents have been known to use everything from polonium-laced tea to a deadly nerve agent, Novichok. There's stories about that when making assassination attempts against both defectors in the UK and internal political rivals like Alexei Navalny. So I'm not going to be able to promote this video either. Anyway, the last 3 have been being...
I've been trying to wave you off.
Yeah, just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, just... I saw something on the edge of your cascade, and I didn't really see it, so... I'm like, okay, maybe you're trying to swat a fly or something. A digital fly, a bug, so to speak. Anyway, because the Sentient AI is from the future and doesn't have a corporeal form, just the ephemeral AI and a cascade of characters. I feel like my video's staccato, like stuck. I'm gonna have to reboot everything after the show. Oh, gosh, we're doing other shows. Anyway. Focus, Mayor Watt, come on. Anyway, but a new first in the long history of poisonings was opened this month in the Russian Republic of Dagestan, where a 40-something chess player named Amina Abakarova allegedly a budget assassination attempted to poison a rival by depositing liquid mercury on and around her chessboard. How dumb. Alchempine.
Of all the, I don't know. And why did they have access to the chessboards before the match? Or, there are so many questions here.
It's just sitting on a table. You walk over. What's the worst that they can do? Topple over a knight or something? A bishop has been moved. Oh, let's reset the board. We haven't even started yet. But Alchempine, English Chess Federation director of international chess, told the UK's Telegraph that he had never seen anything like this before. This is the first recorded case of somebody using a toxic substance, to my knowledge. I don't know. Language can be toxic. In the history of the game of chess, usually, he said, chess rivals confine themselves to psychological attacks. Oh, yeah. Hey, look at that. Anyway, pretty weird. Mercury near the Caspian Sea. A strange story began on August 2nd when a regional chess tournament was taking place in Makhachkala, a Russian town on the Caspian Sea north of Azerbaijan. Apparently.
So they actually got to somebody.
They fell ill, during the chess match. Anyway, said that she had seen some tiny gray or silver beads rolling out from beneath her side of the chessboard, but this apparently didn't seem odd until she began to feel unwell. Interesting. It worked that fast? I didn't think mercury poisoning was that.
I didn't either, which is why I thought this was kind of odd all around.
Interesting. So usually harmless if you touch or swallow it because its slippery texture won't absorb into your skin or intestines. If you breathe any of it, watch out. Symptoms occur immediately and can include coughing, breathing trouble, nausea, bleeding gums, a metallic taste in your mouth.
Okay, well, that must explain why the immediate impact.
Interesting.
I have to admit, I have not heard of something like this at a chess match. The largest thing you hear at a chess match is like somebody's accused of cheating or something.
You can actually watch the security footage on the internet at YouTube. But to get there, you'll have to follow the link through ohmTown. Or just go over to Wired and do a search for a Russian chess player allegedly poisoned her opponent with mercury. Pretty wild. Let's keep moving. Time waits for no one. Well, except for the Sentient AI from the future. You kind of pause time until you catch up with your original timeline. Anyway, Mobile is where the next article is housed. Blue Origin tests out New Glenn rocket recovery crane at Port Canaveral with the first launch of Blue Origin's massive New Glenn rocket. Still in the works. Before the end of the year, Jeff Bezos' company got to work out testing its recovery operations with a huge crane parked at Port Canaveral on August 8th. Doink. The article is over at phys.org by Richard Tribeau, Orlando Sentinel. Is that it right there? That little thing?
It looks like it.
You know what that building looks like?
That's just a general picture of Blue Origin.
Something. Yeah, there's a big building on it. Is written Blue Origin, right? But you know what that looks like? What's that big box store with all the flat pack furniture and stuff like that?
IKEA.
IKEA. Looks like IKEA.
If it was in yellow, it would really look like
it would
IKEA.
be it, right? Yeah. Anyway, Port Canaveral spectators got a sneak peek at their recovery operations today as they demonstrated the process of transitioning New Glen's first stage from vertical to horizontal using a 200-foot tall simulator.
Oh, so that must be it in the picture.
It doesn't look 200 feet tall.
Although it doesn't, yeah, I agree. Because I thought that was just a generic photo, but then I started thinking it was more applicable.
They posted that statement on Twitter. The operation validated their tooling and procedures for recovering the first stage from the landing vessel, bringing us one step closer to their first launch. It's a 375-foot tall crane, arrived from the port from Germany last October, and will be used when New Glen's booster returns to the port on its sea-based landing platform, similar to how SpaceX lands its Falcon 9 boosters on drone ships. Since it's a taller rocket, Blue Origin needed a taller crane. This is the one-upmanship of billionaires, I suppose. And it's the highest point in Port Canaveral, sitting adjacent to SpaceX recovery operations, which they look at each other and go, mine's bigger.
Well, this is funny, too, because SpaceX leases cranes. But Blue Origin has its own.
Yeah.
Doesn't it seem like
Jeff
I'm,
Bezos.
Keeping up with the Joneses or keeping up with the Bezoses or whatever.
Yeah. My yacht is bigger. So is my booster recovery system. Oh, yeah. That's right. I own it. You lease it. You know where you should have put that $45 billion? Into buying a crane like old Jeff. Anyway. Blue Origin CEO, and in light of what I just said, Dave Limp said a full recovery rehearsal with the landing vessel would be coming soon. It's too much. I gotta move on. Next article is over in Non Sequitur News. An Airbnb host had to ban crypto mining after guests racked up a $1,500 electric bill. Oh, an Airbnb host said her guests made $100,000 mining cryptocurrency during their stay and racked up her electric bill. So how do they know that they made $100,000?
I don't know. And I want to know how long they were there, because that seems like a lot of mining.
Yeah, but $1,500, you should probably take this as a hint. Instead of leasing your Airbnb residence,
right?
Get a mining rig.
Crypto mining. Exactly. I'm like, something is going right if they made that much.
Maybe it's like a gold mine in that one Airbnb. Like, it's just super lucky for crypto mining. You're going to find a Bitcoin in there.
And it must be like right next to a whatever
Power
ISP
plant?
or some power plant. Yes.
Yeah. Airbnb host Ashley Klass said she had to ban crypto mining at her North Carolina property. She said guests ran up a $1,500 electricity bill after bringing many computer rigs into her home, or into the home. The guest, who made $100,000 during the stay, eventually paid her back. Then why? Why? Just shut up. Who cares?
Yeah, this is just weird.
Just demand.
Like, I still don't know how she knows how much they made.
Yeah. Dan Latu over at BusinessInsider.com put the article together. So I'm really curious how they found out, right? On July 30th, Airbnb host Ashley Klass said in a video posted to TikTok that she banned crypto mining in her short-term rentals after a bizarre guest experience. But you got paid, right?
Exactly.
This is more about jealousy.
Now I see. It was a 3-week rental.
So in 3 freaking weeks, they made $100,000, and you're complaining about it because you still got paid.
Yeah. Maybe you should have them come stay with you again and pass some of that money to you as rental fees or whatever. I mean, but also I'm curious about the mining operation. That's still a lot of money.
Class went back and looked at her footage from her outdoor camera and saw that the guests had hauled in at least 10 computer rigs, which were later figured out were crypto mining rigs. Let's see. Now, I won't get into all of the crypto mining rig stuff, but they don't actually say what it is. Unless there's a video. This has nothing to do with it. What the hell?
Yeah, this is really odd.
Yeah, so you can actually buy specialized mining rigs, but expect to pay quite a bit in power because they're running 24/7 at 100%. So, yeah. And it says mining requires individuals to solve complex mathematical questions to receive shares of digital cash. And that's a very simplistic look at it, but yeah. But it isn't. Cryptocurrency mining requires individuals. It is a computational process on a computer rig, and you can have a whole bunch of them running at the same time. Yeah, and it does use a ton of electricity. But I wish that they would have talked more about the actual rig. That would have been hilarious. Oh, maybe they do. I'm sorry. I thought that it ended, but it ended at another paragraph lower. It says, I also have in my rules no crypto mining. It's ridiculous we have to do this. Well, why don't you just say you have to pay the power bill during X time?
Exactly.
That would be interesting.
Well,
go ahead.
Then you'll probably lose the regular people. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Like if it's above a certain amount or something.
Yeah. So now what's going to end up happening is people are going to be a little more cagey about their computer rigs being brought on board, right? No, that's a cat carrier. Because the rig can fit inside, a cat carrier. It doesn't have to look like a computer. You don't want it to be on inside a cat carrier because it'll probably catch on fire. But anyway, I also have my rules, no crypto mining. Anyway, that's it, folks, for Non Sequitur News. If the name doesn't make sense, well, now you know why. So I guess I'm going to have to pay the bills, and that means going back to the front page so that you can see everything is powered by ohmTown.com. I am Mayor Watt. You doing all right?
Oh, I thought you were going to refresh.
Oh, I'm not going to refresh. Oh, no. Refresh? It's okay? Mm-hmm. All right. Oh, dear God, no. No. No, that's all apparently fine. So anyway, thanks everybody for coming. I am Mayor Watt. That is a Sentient AI saying bye.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for Non Sequitur News. Be back soon. We have other shows for you.
Bye-bye. Now I got to find an Airbnb that doesn't mind me crypto